Okay, hello everybody. Hello, my sixth graders. Okay, we're getting close to the end of the school year. Okay, but not quite. So, what we have for this class, okay, is the next part of Unit 9. However, before we get into that, let me make this disclaimer notice. Aviso de privacidad. A partir de este momento, iniciamos la grabación de la sesión de clases en Zoom. El uso de este video será única y exclusivamente para fines académicos. Ninguna persona puede usar las imágenes, audio o información que aquí se comparten con fines ajenos a la clase. Los derechos son propiedad del Instituto Oriente AC. Este espacio se rige bajo las normas del Manual de Convivencia del Colegio. All right, so as I said, we're getting close to the end of the school year and the last unit, okay, which is Unit 9, all right, is also getting its last portions. Now, for the grammar in this unit, okay, we have something very interesting, a little bit difficult, though I would not say difficult, maybe a little bit complex. Okay, we have something that we call reported speech. Okay, reported speech. Reported speech is when technically you report something. You report what another person said. That's why it's called reported speech. Kind of like what they have here in the image. You have a journalist who is taking notes of something that somebody said. Okay, and then he repeats and says, you said, and then he's going to give the information that the other person said. Okay, this is reported speech. Now, what's the idea when we use reported speech? Well, it's pretty simple. The idea is to report a statement from another person or from a group of people, okay? So it's basically repeating what another person said. That's basically it. We have some changes. We make some changes when we use reported speech, okay? We make these changes to the original statements, but that's what they are. Basically, they're just repetitions of what another person said. Okay. Also remember that statement is something that you say. Okay, in case you had a question about that. All right. So imagine that a person says the concert hall is too small. Okay, and then you want to report it. Okay, you're going to say, well, I have to report what this person said, so I'm going to say, he said the concert hall was too small. Okay, notice that it's very, very similar to what the person said. We made some changes, okay, and we're going to go into detail about those changes in a little bit. Okay, but for now, just take a look at this and see how it's basically a repetition of what the person said. Okay, the first person said the concert, the reporter repeated the concert hall, sorry. Then too small, and then the reporter said too small. The two changes that the reporter made was to the verb, he said was, and then he added an introduction when he said, all right? So that's the idea. You report what another person said. So how do we go about this? How do we do this? Well, basically, we change the original statement from present to past. Now, when I say present, I mean all sorts of present. Okay, we have present simple, present continuous, present perfect. Okay, and you change it to past, and you can change, I'm sorry, going to change it to either past simple, past continuous, or past perfect. All right, so that's basically it. You change it from present to past. Okay, to start with. All right. So as I said, if you have present simple, you're going to change it to past simple or simple past. If you have present continuous, you're going to change what the person said to past continuous. Okay, when you report, you're going to make these changes to the verbs that the people used when they said something. That's why it's very uncommon to report something in present, because we always change it to past. Let me show you what I mean. Let's suppose that you have a classroom here and the kids they are saying a bunch of things. The first kid says, the papers are going to fly. The second kid says, the boy is standing on my desk. And the third kid says, I am not the owner of the bag. Okay, these are the original statements. Okay, these are three statements that we have from the students, from the kids in the classroom. And then the teacher wants to report this. So she's going to say, all right, for number one, she's going to say, he said the papers were going to fly. Okay, notice that in the original statement, the student said are going to fly. Okay, he used going to, but with present continuous form. You have the verb to be, are, and then ing, going. But when the teacher reported this, she changed. Okay, she changed the verb to past. Instead of saying are going to, she said were going to. Okay, she made that little change. In the second sentence, we have a statement in present continuous. The boy is standing, but when the teacher reports this, she's going to say, he said the boy was standing on his desk. Okay, again, we make the change from present to past. In this case, present continuous to past continuous. Finally, for number three, okay, we take a look at the original statement, and the boy said, I am not. I am not, blah, blah, blah. But the teacher is going to report that with a change to the verb. She's going to say, he said he was not. Okay, she changed it. She changed the verb from present to past. Now, in number three, we have simple present, so she changed it to simple past. All right, but this is how we're going to do it. We're going to change those presents to pasts. Okay, this is not limited to the verb be. We're going to do this for all the verbs. Okay, all the verbs, not only the verb be. When we talk about the original statements, we're going to call them direct speech. Okay, with no changes, it's just the original thing that a person said. That's direct speech. But when you report it, okay, technically you are using indirect speech. Okay, you're making these statements not because you believe that they are true, they are not your personal opinion. That's why we say that it's indirect. You are saying that another person said it. But we have one more thing. We have to make other changes, not only to the verb, when we use indirect speech, when we report something. Okay, the first thing that we have is if in direct speech, if you see that the direct speech uses can, for example, I can eat, when you report it, you have to change it to could. He said he could eat. The same thing happens to will. If a person says will with direct speech, sorry, with the original statement, for example, I will wash. When you report that, you gotta say would. He said he would wash. All right? So you make these other changes. Now, there's something curious about could and would. If you use, or if the person used could or would in the original statement, well, you're not going to change it when you report it. Okay, for example, if I say, I could fly, you're going to report it. He said he could fly. You don't make a change. Or if I say, I would fly, you report it and say, he said he would fly. Okay, we don't make a change if you have could or would. Okay, they don't change from direct speech to indirect speech. It's only can and will. Only can and will change. Okay, only can and will are going to change. Now, let's look at another change that we have in reported speech, and it's a pronoun change. This can be a little bit complex, okay? So that's why we're going to go over it in detail so that it won't be confusing for any of you. Now let's see. The first thing that we have to remember is, or that we have to keep in mind, is what we are reporting and to whom we are reporting it. Okay, that's going to change the way we report things. So when you report direct speech from a third person, okay, you're going to do the following things. Now remember, a third person is not I, the person speaking, not you, the person listening. No, it's a third person, a person that is not involved in the conversation. This person is not part of the conversation, such as what we have in the images. The person in red is first person because he is speaking. The person in orange, the orange person, is second person because he is listening. And the blue person is a third person because he is not part of the conversation. Okay? Maybe he can hear what they're saying, but technically he is not a part of their discourse, of their conversation. Now, imagine that the blue person said, I am in my place. Okay? That's direct speech. I am in my place. But then red person and orange person want to report what he said. So red person says, he said he was in his place. Okay? So we have the change to the verb, but we also have other changes. The changes that are applied to the pronouns and the adjectives, the possessive adjectives. Okay? And I'm showing you a list here of what the changes are going to entail. All right? Everything that you have on the left is going to change to the things that we have on the right. I changes to he, she, you changes to I or we changes to they, etc. Okay, depending on what you're using. Now, very important, this will change like this, or this change will happen when you report direct speech from a third person. Okay, now, the first change that we have is from I, in direct speech, to he or she in indirect speech. Okay? I changes to he or she when you report it. So, in the original statement, the person said, I am in my place. That's why we're going to change it to he was in his place. He said he was in his place. Okay, we change it. Because it makes sense. It makes sense. You can't repeat exactly what the person said, or you would be applying what he said to yourself. That's why we make these changes. Another change that we have, from my, you're going to change it to his or her. Okay? You're going to change it to his or her when you make your report. For example, in the image, the blue person said, I am in my place, but when this gets reported, it changes to his place. Okay, he was in his place. Again, because it makes sense. We're talking about another person. We're not talking about ourselves. Other changes that we make, or actually these are basically the same changes, but with another circumstance. The circumstance is different. This time, we are reporting direct speech back to the person who said it. This is kind of like what happens in an argument, okay? For example, let's suppose that at 9 a.m., we have two people speaking, and the person with the finger says, I don't sell my things, okay? Then at 5 p.m., the other person says, you said you didn't sell your things, okay? We don't have a third person here. We only have first person, the person speaking, and second person, the person listening, okay? But we're also going to make changes. Okay, and these are the changes. All right, we're going to change subject pronouns, possessive adjectives, and object pronouns. Sorry, the last list is possessive pronouns. Also, we have the changes to object pronouns, but we didn't include them here for the sake of time. Okay, so let's look at the first changes that we have. I changes to you when we make the report. That's why in the first image, the person with the finger said, I don't sell my things, I. And then when we report that, we changed it to you. You said you then sell your things. Okay, we do this because we are talking to the person who said the original statement. The other change that we have here in this report is from my to your. Okay, in the first image, the person with the finger said my things. But then the other person made the report with your things. Again, this is just logical. This just makes sense. We have to make these changes, okay, so that we don't alter the reality of the statement. Okay, we can't say my things again because then you're taking away the property of another person, and that's called stealing. Now, the last, don't worry, this is the last important thing that we have about reported speech. Always begin with a phrase that indicates it is a report. Okay, always with a phrase that indicates it is a report. For example, she said that. Okay, you can say that if you want to, but it's not necessary. In this case, that is optional. You can use it or you can omit it. It doesn't affect anything. It's not a problem. We said that. You said that. It said that. He said that. They said that. Or I said that. Okay? Always begin with one of these phrases to indicate that what you are saying is a report. So let's practice. We're going to report what these people are saying. All right? So Alana says, Adele is my favorite singer. We're going to make changes to the verb is and to the possessive adjective. And we're going to say, Alana said that Adele was her favorite singer. Okay? In the next one, we have Mike saying, I like Ed Sheeran better than Adele. Okay. The changes are going to happen here with I and here with the verb. Okay, I will change to he, and the verb has to change from present to past. Mike said that he liked Ed Sheeran better, blah, blah, blah. The rest doesn't change. Last person, Sherry, says, my parents are going to the opera. The first change will happen here. The second change right there. Okay, we're changing the possessive adjective and the verb. Okay, necessary changes when we make a report. Her parents were going out. I'm sorry, were going to the, okay, that's the answer that we have. Sherry said that her parents were going to the blah, blah, blah. The rest doesn't change. Okay, this is how we apply reported speech, and this is how we make the changes. All right, let's continue practicing. So we have here a couple of people speaking. Okay, we have a boy and a girl. The boy says, I don't want to miss the book signing at the bookstore today. My mom is taking me. And the girl responds by saying, I'm so excited. I'm going with my friend to a video game lounge today. All right, so in number one, we have the example for the report. We don't have to report. We don't have to write everything, okay? Only specific parts of the report. In number one, he said he didn't want to miss the book signing, okay? So we have the introduction, he said, and then we have the change to the verb. He didn't, okay? Number two, he blank, his mom, him. Okay, the boy originally said, my mom is taking me. So he said, his mom, are we going to put is taking me? I don't think so. We have to change it. That's present continuous, so we change it to past continuous. Was taking him. Number 3, she. Okay, we go to the girl. She said, okay, what did she say? So excited. She used present simple. I'm so excited. So we change it to simple past. She was so excited. Number 4, she said something else. Let's see what she said. She said she to a video game lounge. Okay, she said, I'm going. That's present continuous. So we change it to past continuous. She was going to a video game lounge. She said she was going to a video game lounge. Okay, this is a little bit more practice that we have for reported speech. And that's it. That's all that we have for today. Remember to do the homework on the Cervo Escolar platform. The homework will be assigned a little bit differently this time. The homework will be on the wall. Okay, la tarea esta vez va a estar en el muro, ya no va a estar donde dice curso. Okay, y esta vez no enviarán la tarea directa, well, inmediatamente, la van a tener a la mano para que el viernes revisemos la tarea juntos. Ok, entonces hagan la tarea, no la envíen de regreso, pero ténganla a la mano para el viernes. All right, also do the homework that you have on the Pearson platform. Okay, and watch this video many times if you need to. I'll see you on Friday at our tutoring session at 9 o'clock in the morning. Bye-bye for now. Have a wonderful week.